Though writing is something we do alone, it isn't a solitary pursuit. It's a journey of self-discovery and a friendship with ourselves. Welcome to Devotion to Writing, a channel devoted to helping you cultivate a daily writing practice and realize you are creative abundance. In this video, I want to explore how writing, that is really this time that we take to put ourselves at the page, at this kind of beginnings of our creative output, at the beginnings of our imaginings, of our making sound out of what is emerging from us. That this moment, these moments that we take with ourselves is the blossoming of a friendship. And like a friendship that we would have with another person, this is something we can visit daily with ourselves. We can have a conversation with ourselves, with the page, with our characters. We can take a walk with them. We can develop a history and grow old with writing, with all of it, with our sitting with ourselves, with all of the beauty that we create over many, 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 many sittings. Well, we develop this friendship over the course of a lifetime, and it is something certainly that, for me, it is something that has become an invaluable companion in my life, this writing. Georgia O'Keeffe said, "To see takes time, like to have a friend takes time." And here, I think O'Keeffe is talking, well, I know she's talking about objects. She's talking about a flower, that it takes a long time to see a flower. But, and that to see something really requires our patience and our attention and our effort. Well, for us as writers, the object is the writing. It is whatever it is that we're trying to see, envision, and work out on the page. But it is not just this seeing the writing, but it is our relationship and seeing our work and how we work and ourselves at work. It is a way of seeing the activity of writing. We can develop a friendship with each of these parts, if you would like, of writing. The writing itself, the work of writing, and with ourselves, these different components. And to have this kind of genuine understanding of what it takes and this connection to develop a relationship with these different parts that go into writing, the work itself, the writing, and with ourselves as a writer, this doesn't happen instantly. It requires more than a fleeting glance. It says it takes, as O'Keeffe says, time, the way a friendship, making a friend, takes time. And I wonder, as I say this, does that scare you? If I tell you that writing is going to require something of you, that it is going to require your patience, your time, your care, your attention, in order for it to grow into a friendship, does that scare you? And if it does, if that is something that you want to run away from, take notice of that. And why might that be? What is it exactly that might scare you about that? And I would say for myself that there was a time that, and there still is, there are still times when that demand of that type of relationship does, if not scare me, puts me off. It can feel to me like another thing that I'm responsible for or burdened with. But this has changed over time and has lessened over time, because I know that like with a friendship, it's something, the writing is something I need to show up for. And I need to show up for myself. There is a place in me, the creative self in me, that needs and requires my attention and my care, my devotion, and needs me to be with it, to converse with it, to listen to it. To acquire anything, whether it's an object that we wish to buy or a skill, we need to spend something in exchange. In the case of writing, to acquire writing, whether it's a single poem or a story or a life as a writer, it will require us to give our time, our patience, in exchange for it. So if we want to begin to write, we have to understand that it requires our energy, like a friendship requires our energy. So when you write, you give attention to the next image or to the idea that is born in you. You attend to the sounds of the words and to all that these sounds, the nouns and the verbs carry in them, their histories, and which in fact are your private histories wrapped in you. You have your own private history with words and with certain nouns and certain verbs. They resonate in you differently than they resonate in another person. So you carry all of these, and as you begin to write and as you begin to pay attention to the sounds, to the nouns, to the verbs that have a special history in you, you develop a special history with your writing, with these words, with your language, with language. And this is another part of what grows your friendship, your history with words, your history writing as a writer, and your history of all the writing that you do is the history of the growing history of your friendship with writing. So it's where it in fact is a history of where you've spent your attention, where you've put your energy. So it is, your writing is your restlessness and your seeking expression, and how you have expressed this restlessness, this seeking through you, and how you have communicated it. Your restlessness to discover, what is this image? What is this feeling? What does this mean for me? What is this event that happened with my parents? Why is it still resonant with me? Why is it still triggering me? You listen, you make room, you hold space for a friend. And you need to do this with writing as well. And do this, you're doing it with yourself, for yourself. And know too that writing listens, and writing makes room, and writing holds space for you. It's reciprocal. It is a friendship, and it grows and grows more deep, grows deeper throughout your life and as you develop your practice. And I think I have to say, it's not a friend that you are making. It is friends, plural, that you are making with your writing practice, because you hold many, and you hold many writings. You hold many selves and many gods and goddesses and many environments and many objects and many pasts and futures. And you are the dreamer, and you are the dreamed, and you are the loving, and you are that loves. So cultivate the friendship to these different aspects of writing. You're cultivating a friendship not just with the writing, the act of writing, not just with what you write, and not just with yourself, but you're cultivating a friendship with all of these aspects of writing. You are cultivating your friendship. So be kind as you would to a friend, and be generous, be patient, and forgive, and keep writing. There make no place for your judgment, your harsh judgments, or for your critical assaults on yourself, or leave no space for any voice that can come in and shout you down. You have the authority and the power to eliminate those interior voices that are unfriendly. You can do that. You can ignore it. You might hear it. You can ignore it. You can silence that voice. You can exile that criticalness and make friends just with your creativity, just with that self that is sitting curious and interested and alive and searching for beauty, that wants to feel and wants to express and really is not interested at all with that critical, with that judgment, right? That's not friendly. Write what has to come through you. Write, because if you don't, you will perish. That is, your creativity will perish, or at least that part of you that wants to create will wither at your own hands, and only because you couldn't see and act against the small, fearful part of you, which, and I can't stress this enough, isn't you, is not you. That small and fearful ego is not you. It's just this mean invention of your ego. You created it. You give it license to say the things that it says. But what you actually are, what we all actually are, is unceasing abundance. Unceasing abundance, creation, God, spirit, the divine, the cosmos, the universe, whatever you want to call this energy that has flown into us, that comes through us, that we are. You are it. Remember this, befriend this, and write from the abundance you are. The poet Joseph Stroud, I met him maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago. He told me that writing costs you your life, but not a life lost, but a life gained. And I remember this frequently. And I think what he meant by this is that in writing, we gain a friend. We gain a friendship that stays with us our whole lives, and it expands our life beyond what our life was without creativity. When we create, we are creation. We are limitless. We are potential. And when we practice this, when we practice exercising our creativity in a friendly way, this dynamic self that we are, that you are, and the beauty and the abundance that you are becomes through you. And the world opens more and becomes more infinite and becomes more beautiful and more expressive and expresses with you. This is what happens. This is the beauty of creativity, of being in our creative flow. So here's a prompt for you today. Write a letter to a friend and make that friend your writing self, perhaps. Write a letter to your writing self, your creative self. What would you say to them? What would you write to them in a letter? And tell them maybe about your past, maybe about your past as a writer or your desires to write, and tell them what you struggle with. Share your life with them and begin. And then if you want to take this prompt one step further, you could then listen to your writer self and have them write a letter back to you. I really hope this was helpful a little bit about befriending your writing and yourself as a creator. Please subscribe to this channel if you liked it. If you like this video and you would like to receive more videos and tips for how to cultivate a writing practice and devote yourself to writing. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you write deeply today, and know that if you do write, you will write beautifully, because beautiful is what you are. Blessings.